Peshawar Zalmi was always a very strong team. Was when Chris Gale played a shot
Yeah.
and the catch fell between me and Saeed Ajmal.
Oh wow. I have here with me the legendary Pakistani cricketer and still one of the most sought after cricketers in the game, Shoaib Malik. Shoaib Malik, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Great to have you on.
Thank you, sir.
Shoaib Malik, first of all, you're with Peshawar Zalmi now. This is your first time with them. Tell us a little bit about that, how you feel about being involved with Peshawar Zalmi.
Well, what I've seen in the recent past, Peshawar Zalmi was always a very strong team, and heard a lot of good things about the players and even the management. And once you're part of the team, then you even understand that what players were talking about Peshawar Zalmi team, and even people were talking about that they're very like chilling team. And I've noticed that from the last, no, not like me, trust me. So I've noticed in the last couple of days since we are practicing that very jolly team, and they enjoy, and that is what most important thing in my opinion, that in your profession, if you enjoy being in your profession, and that helps a lot, seeing success in your career. And I guess I've seen that, and that's why the Peshawar Zalmi team is so consistent in the PSL.
Speaking of your career, I want to take you back a little bit. Your career, I was thinking about it, and it's a little bit like life, quite unexpected. You started off as an off spinner. Everybody thought you'd be the next Saqlain Mushtaq, but as it turned out, you started batting. You were sent up the order. You scored 100 opening, and then under Bob Woolmer, you came in at number 3, and your batting just kept getting better and better. So just tell us a little bit about that transition.
The transition, I would not say that transition. It was more of, I was always a batsman, but when I gave trials for under 15 World Cup, I only used to play with the tape tennis ball, so I never even touched a hard ball. And my father asked me to go and give trials, but before that I was just a batsman, no off spin, nothing. And of course, when I got selected for the national side, I've played my first international game as an off spinner, and my batting number was number 10 at that point, and never thought of that I would be batting up the order in the coming years, but that happened. And overall it's still a good journey.
Yeah.
And the goal is not just to give your best shot. The goal is even to see yourself where you stand, what things you require in your career, and what things you're lacking in, and where you need to improve, and your strong areas. Just make sure that you practice in those areas, and I guess that was the key. I'm still going, and I would like to thank all the cricketers, all the ex-cricketers, coaches, that they believed in me, and I guess that's why I'm still playing.
I'm thinking about the 100 that you made against India in the Asia Cup when you came in at number 3, I think it was, and you played a lot of those dabs down to third man, and you hit straight as well, and that's still a core part of your game. The fundamentals of your game haven't changed, but if you look at the way you batted then, those shots that you played then, and the way you played them now, it looks a little bit more modern, more upgraded, Shoaib Malik 2.0. So is that because of a lot of the franchise cricket you've played, the amount you practice? What is it?
I think, of course, practice element is there, but to go with the world to see yourself here. I think there are many things you need to change as a player, and I guess modern day cricket requires a lot of. It's not just about your batting. For example, I'm a batsman, so it's not just about you scoring runs. It's about you even fielding at the hot spot areas and captain sending you on those hot spot areas. And whenever the team needs your bowling, that's what I've decided and even worked on these things. Okay, and I play according to the situation. You practice everything, but the execution depends on the games. Whatever scenarios you get in front of you, make sure you have done your homework. And I guess that's the key for any athlete, no matter you're from whatever era. The goal is to see how the world is playing and where the world is going.
When you think of Shoaib Malik, the cricketer, the one word that comes to mind is discipline. I mean, you didn't become like this by accident. A lot of hard work went to it. Many would argue that you were probably not the most naturally gifted cricketer to come out of Pakistan, but you worked very, very hard. I mean, you train regularly, you watch what you eat. I'm sure your wife has had a tremendous influence on you, as she's also an athlete. So it took a lot of work to become the cricketer that you are.
Well, to be honest, I don't make my life complicated by thinking too many things. When you start thinking too many things in your head, then you're actually confusing your own head and you're not going anywhere. So I make things simple, and
Over-analysis leads to paralysis.
Exactly. And of course, having someone in your life who's also an athlete and has done so much well, and I guess that helps a lot. But still motivating yourself, it's a very big thing, and I'm blessed in that. And even fitness wise, a lot of people think I train a lot. I do train a lot, but I'm blessed that my father was an athlete, and I have some of his genes. And I still remember that 2010 I was not part of the team. From 2010 to 2015 I was not really part of the national
You
side.
were in and out on the periphery.
Yes, I hardly played games in those 5 years, but the best thing happened to me was that I was playing all over the world. I was playing all the leagues. I learned a lot. When you're away from the team, it actually allows you to think what really you need in your life and what goals you would like to achieve. And I guess I got those 5 years where I've played all over the world, even played on different conditions, and gained a lot of confidence. And that's why I'm still going. And most importantly, that I'm still enjoying my cricket.
Handling pressure, it comes with the territory, being a top international cricketer. And as you said, your wife is very supportive. She too is an athlete, so she understands playing under pressure. She understands criticism, something you've got a lot of in your career. And you handle it well. We've seen you in press conferences, how you manage to shut idiotic questions down. But it must take a toll on you. So what do you do? Like, how do you de-stress? How do you manage those situations?
Well, I'm also a human being. I also get mood swings, and when someone asks a question irrelevant, still it hurts, and I also feel like saying something silly, but I control myself, and I guess that's how it should be. That respect element should not go away in you, and I guess and I make sure I keep myself surrounded by the positive people, because when you get positive energy from others, that helps a lot. And I guess it's a good thing to have. And
you see, I'm just thinking about the World Cup game against India, how you managed to handle the criticism that came your way, because it was very unwarranted, unethical. But throughout that process, you kept your composure. That's not an easy thing to do.
Well, I can't make everyone happy. But if I'm clean from the heart and if I'm disciplined towards the team or whatever contracts I'm into, if I'm disciplined in that, then I'm not bothered about what people are saying. So I think that was the key, that I was what people were saying. I was not out that particular night.
Yeah.
And even if we're going to a place, that doesn't mean I'm a bad person or others are bad. And I think the involvement should not be so much in your personal life. It should stick to your professionalism.
No, I mean, just the way you're speaking now, not only are you a fine, disciplined cricketer, but you seem to be a thoughtful, sensitive person, and of course that comes with age and maturity. So you're speaking to some of the cricketers here, family life when you're constantly traveling, it can be tough. So for people that are younger than you, who are also athletes and traveling a lot, what sort of advice would you give to them?
The advice is that just be more flexible, and nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. So I think just forgive. And long distance relationship, it's not easy to keep.
Yeah. How does one manage that? What advice would you give someone?
In our case, I think we both athletes, so we understand the psyche of an athlete, and I guess that's the key of our relationship. And I think it's good to even give space to each other. And you meet after some time. Every time you meet your partner, it's like a new marriage. Yeah. So I think but I miss my son a lot, and whenever I get the opportunity, even couple of days in between, I make sure I visit them if they're not like in America or Australia, because it takes a day to get to America or Australia, sometime 2 days. But we actually make sure whenever we have time, so we spend that time together.
Now, just a few cricket questions for die-hard cricket fans. You know, those guilty pleasure questions which cricketers are sick of answering, but I have to do it to you. I'm one of those die-hard cricket fans, by the way. Has there ever been a moment in your career when you were facing a fast bowler and you thought, man, this guy is quick, I need to get out of the way, he's rapid?
Well, that thought never came in my head, but this, of course, if you're facing anybody who's beyond 145, I think you just stay more alert, because this guy is bowling fast.
Yeah.
And in my career, I think I faced Shoaib Malik, and he was the quickest in the lot.
There was Shoaib Malik, there was Zahid before him as well. Many say that he was very, very quick. Very quick too.
I faced him once. It was a final, grade 2 final in Multan, and he came back from that Aussie tour where Brian Lara said, I've never faced someone who's that quick.
And was he that quick?
Yeah, he was very good.
Now, your play against spin, you're one of the finest players against spin, and you hit straight. That's something that we don't see that often right now in Pakistani cricket, and that's because you use your feet very well. But has there ever been a spinner that you found difficult to face, that was complicated, where you were a bit, reticent about going down the track?
Well, if it's turning, then any spinner is difficult. And when you don't know what ball's gonna do, some pitches they offer a lot of things to the spinners, like they try to turn the ball, it goes straight, and sometimes they bowl straighter one but it turns. That's when you feel difficult, whoever's bowling, any spinner's bowling. But if it's a good wicket, then I've never faced any difficulty against any spinner, but I faced a lot of the quality spinners, and like Shane Warne, Saktan Mushtaq, Muralidharan, Daniel Vittori from New Zealand. there were like quality spinners, and it's just that if the ball is not turning, then it's easier to handle them.
Yeah, I mean, many say it's Shane Warne or Muralidharan. It's a toss-up. Many say Shane Warne, but Shane Warne was very patient, whereas Muralidharan was also patient, but he was a lot more difficult to figure out. It was just that Warne was always at the backspin. That's what Pakistani struggled against him.
Leg spinner or any wrist spinner, they take wickets. They give runs, but they take wickets, and that's why they are very handy, especially in T20 cricket these days. And we have seen they are like very handy even in Test cricket, and these are the two formats where you could see more wrist spinners because they take wickets.
They're bowling a lot flatter now than they used to.
Well, because of T20.
Yeah.
And I guess if you try to turn the ball, or the minute you give some loop, batsman is ready to hit you, or so that's why we see a lot of low trajectory balls. They try to deceive you. They don't give you enough time
And
where
it's
you
difficult
use
for you
your
then
feet.
to use your feet and get underneath, but you still manage to do it.
Yeah, I'm still actually managed to do it, but I practice a lot, and I practice a lot. I make sure that I get a lot of spinners bowling, and I use my feet, because you're not scared of getting out.
What was the most satisfying innings you played? You look back and you think, wow, I was middling the ball brilliantly.
One inning actually was, I still, when I sit at one place and I think of that inning which I played in Sri Lanka, we had to save the test match, and I was opening the batting, and I batted like till the end, and we saved that test match against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. Wasn't easy to do that, especially when world-class bowlers were playing, like Chaminda was, Mataya Muralidharan, all these guys were there. So that was the innings which I still.
It's funny that you say that, because you're a fantastic T20 cricketer, a wonderful T20 cricketer. As I said in my introduction, you're one of the most sought after T20 players, but you just said that your most satisfying innings was a test innings, which means that test cricket is still the pinnacle for most cricketers.
It is. And test cricket is something which, when you perform, you get the most satisfaction in test cricket, and that's why that inning is very special for me.
Just a couple more questions, Shoaib. You're an inspiration to young cricketers. A lot of young cricketers look up to you. So what sort of advice would you give them, especially the talented ones, those who are extremely talented? We've seen a lot of them coming out, but many argue that hard work, that's what's lacking. Something that's defined your career. Can you just explain to people how important it is to work hard and grind it out every day?
My advice to youngsters is that always look to get, if you get two options, always choose the hard one. So when you get used to passing those hard yards on consistent basis, then you will be able to play more, longer and consistent in your career. So make sure you go through those hard yards every day.
Because even the little things in life, you as an athlete, you have to look out for. One day you'll be craving, I don't know, if your wife's made some delicious Hyderabadi biryani, you want to go out for nihari or something like that. These things you have to avoid, and it's not easy to do it consistently day in, day out.
You know what we do, for example, if I put on weight and I've decided, okay, I'm going to lose weight, I cut down everything on the first day. It doesn't happen, and it's not easy to leave everything on the first day. So start doing things gradually. So for example, you eat rice, just get rid of rice.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
not, it's not easy.
I know, I know it's not easy. But you can get rid of things, but slowly, not on the first day. First day, no one can do that actually.
No.
There are very, very few people who can do that. But just start doing things gradually, And for youngsters, another advice is that make sure live a disciplined life. Disciplined life is not just about practice hard. Disciplined life is sleeping on time, and because your recovery is the most important thing, that gives your body next day and still go through those hard yards. So disciplined life is very important. It's not just about food, it's about sleeping on time, waking up on time, and doing the right training.
You know what I would tell youngsters or people who admire you to feel motivated? Just look at your Instagram account. You have killer ab workouts in there, which I try to follow. They're quite difficult. I just tell them to follow your Instagram page. It's very impressive what you manage to do in the gym.
Some things which they can do, I can't.
Yeah.
So we all have abilities, we all have everything in us, but in different ways. It's just that just get inspiration from others, and that's the key of life.
And just something that came to my head: sledging. Now that's an issue that's been talked about for the last couple of years. So it's sort of like gone down a little bit. But you've played a lot of cricket. So something that you can tell us, a funny moment that comes to your mind. I know you're not much of a sledger, but something you were involved in, or something you've seen that makes you laugh on the cricket field.
Oh, the only thing which is funny in my opinion was when Chris Gale played a shot.
Yeah.
And the catch fell between me and Saeed Ajmal.
Oh wow. Was that it? That was in Abu Dhabi? That was in Abu. I remember that.
That was a funny thing.
What did you say to him? It all just fell between you. I remember that.
Even when we were playing the finals of Champions Trophy 2017.
Yeah.
So when Virat and Yuvraj Singh, myself and Azhar was there. So Virat actually had asked me the same question: what has happened?
Yeah.
The catch fell between you two. And what did Saeed Ajmal say about the catch? And
well, you know what he owes you. I remember in the semi-final of the 2009 World Cup, you took Callis's catch on the boundary of his bowling. I hope he remembers that.
Yeah, of course I remember that. Even when the ball went in the air, and I was thinking, it's a very crucial catch. I can't just, and I was like fully focused. But it was great experience of winning World T20 2009, yes.
Now, final thing, Shoaib Malik, your message to Peshawar Zalmi fans.
Oh, my message is to support us. We will give our best shot, and of course, you win games, you lose games, but always stay with Zalmi. Thanks, guys.
Shoaib Malik, this was great fun. Thank you very much.